epithelium remnants. And also along the vertical release incision. Okay, now I have a block of connective tissue that at the level of the central, it's a bit thicker. You see here, it's about 2 millimeters in thickness. At the level of the lateral, it's a bit smaller. And now I'm going to apply this first layer. Mi dai l'8? Va bene, signora? Vieni qui.
Aspetta un attimo, devo mettere la luce.
Ci sei?
Sì.
Now it's very important to disipitalize this graft, to fix this graft in a slightly submarginal position with respect to the palatal aspect, so that remains some connective tissue to which I will make primary intention wound healing when I'm going to close my flap. So now the suture technique is very important. It is a full thickness perforation, graft, palatal aspect. Quant'è questo? Da 8? Sì. Sicura? No. Now I go back with an horizontal mattress, and we have to get out a bit more corner with respect to the graft, and a bit more apical with respect to the disepithelialized area, and then close. Close without going back to the graft. Now same story here at the level of the papilla of the lateral. Full thickness perforation. This is not a full thickness perforation. I go back from the palatal to the buccal aspect to take anchorage palatally, but no sutures above the disepithelialized area. Okay, now I have to improve the anchorage to the periosteal bed. So I can take this in 2 stages. So graft, We take some periosteal anchorage somewhere. Un po' più su, Katia, su. L'ho cambiata sto qua. It doesn't matter where you take the periosteal anchorage. What is important is where you place your surgical knot, so to be compressive here. Okay, now the first graft is placed. Now we have to evaluate where to place the second one, and I would prefer to include also. Cosa c'è? Mi filo?
Pulire, Katia, se possibile, su niente di che sotto l'addito del profili del labbro. Ma va bene.
Mi date la sonda?
Ok, va benissimo così.
Mi dai un attimo, no, mi dai un altro 7 da 8. I also want to improve a bit the adaptation of this graft to the most critical area, that is this central incisor. And then I apply a sort of wall, which also includes the central, to take anchorage to the distal papilla. Same of before. Full thickness perforation, mi tieni qui? Again, and close the surgical knot on the graft to adapt it much more tightly to the root. Anche lo perdo. Submarginal means that there is still, you see, some connective tissue everywhere to achieve coverage with the papilla. Dammi la pinzetta. And so the papilla height will also increase together with the buccal soft tissue that has to be further improved now. Okay, now we take the second free gingival graft disipitalized, which also covers the buccal defect of the central incisor, so it will be from the mesial papilla to the distal papilla here. I think we don't need to go to the lateral because the lateral has wonderful quality of keratinized tissue. So this is about 18 millimeters. Okay, now we go to the palate again. Now this is a more uniform, apra grande grande, free gingival graft. Apra bene. Quant'era?
18. Iniziate con la luce se possibile. È già abbastanza buono.
La lama? Aspetta che faccio un po' di anestesia prima.
Ok, comunque loro vedono se vedi qualcosa.
I reinforce the anesthesia a bit here. Lama.
Vuoi mettere la testa della paziente
Apra.
un po' più indietro?
Testa indietro, bravo, verso di me.
Può andare.
I want to check from the area where I'm going to make the distal vertical incision, which is this area. That I have 18 millimeters. The apical corner dimension now should be about 4 to 5, no more. E che è successo? Okay, now I remove the graft. This is a more fatty area because we are on the premolar side.
Luce. Luci di nuovo se puoi, Katia. Però non vedono ancora proprio.
The whole fatty and glandular tissue is removed. You say?
Sì.
From the inner aspect of the graft. It's completely useless and make mobility. Also some glandular tissue. is removed until I can see dense collagen-rich connective tissue almost everywhere. Now it's time to disipitalize the free gingival graft. I wet the graft with just 1 drop of water. Take the right thickness, and now it's easier because this is a very uniform graft to make it in one shot. Now I turn the graft. Disepitalize the second part of it. Now don't forget to remove the bevel. I complete the horizontal disepitalization. Before removing all bevels. Now you can see very well the area where the epithelium has to be removed. Now I have to check also the most apical aspect, that there is no remnants of epithelium where I did the apical incision. You see, again, you can see that there is also some remnants here. Here.
Sì, sì.
And this is because I was not completely perpendicular to the soft tissue of the palate, and this means that you leave epithelium not supported by connective tissue here. Okay, now we try our graft in the recipient side. Okay. Vado?
Ancora un attimo.